Well, yeah. Well, the Rochester Razorsharks have a new co-owner and CEO, and he also plays on the team.
And he says he is living out a lifelong dream of playing pro basketball, and he's helping the team succeed financially, too. Robin DeWing joins us with this interesting story.
Interesting is the best way to describe this story. Now, most athletes pursue their dreams of playing the game they love first, and they choose a career. Well, one member of the Rochester Razorsharks did it the opposite way, and it seems to be paying off. At 33, Adam House is the only player on the Rochester Razorsharks without a basketball resume. A good high school player who left college ball after his freshman year to create a startup business.
Started a business out of my apartment, a couple $100, turned it into millions, sold it back in 2007.
He did it a second time, starting a mobile web company. Sold that and decided at 33 it was time to pursue his real dream.
After being an entrepreneur for 14 years, I come up with 100 ideas a day. This one seemed to stick, and it was always a love of mine to play basketball.
House traveled to a basketball combine in Ohio where 35 men looking for teams were trying out. Razorsharks head coach Rod Baker selected 4 players, House one of them. Baker saw a scrappy guy who had good basketball sense and did the most with his talent for his size.
I was actually trying to hide my entrepreneurial background and just make the team as a basketball player, and it kind of came out after spending time with Coach.
He can't buy minutes from me. Minutes aren't for sale. So, he'll get his minutes by his practice time and then the situation in the game.
Baker is part owner of the team and says House may not get much playing time, but his business sense can help to elevate the Razorsharks. House is not only making a physical investment, but a financial one. He is now part owner as well and CEO, and second string.
I'm probably closer to Mark Cuban, except I can actually play the game.
As for how his teammates are reacting to having their owner on the court,
they just found out this morning, so we'll find out in the locker room.
House may have a tough time proving himself. He hasn't played many minutes, but ask him what his biggest personal success is after his wife and 3 boys. He'll tell you it's making the Premier Basketball League. If you can elevate the franchise financially, that's the bonus.
I actually went down that path, and I wanted to make sure that it was something that I didn't achieve, and now I can kind of do both things.
House has already gotten to work. He says he's landed 2 major sponsorships for the team that's expected to be announced next week. The Razorsharks hit the road for 2 games, Friday and Saturday. The team returns home Monday for a President's Day game against Dayton at 7:05 at the Blue Cross Arena. Interesting. I promised it was interesting. Yeah, I give him credit that he wanted to do it from the basketball sense up before kind of spreading the love of his money. But he's got a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and obviously you travel. And he chimed in as my wife's a saint. So she was the one who encouraged him to pursue this.
And guess what? All the rest of the Sharks are going to be hitting him up for a raise on the per diems.
Right.
When they're on the road. Come on.
Yeah, they didn't know this morning when we were there, so that's good.
They know now.
I was surprised.
That's a good story.
Thanks, Jim.
Robin, thanks. Well, whether it's an iPhone